What's good, guys? So I got a deck profile for you. I'm gonna run through some theory behind this deck. Is the Eldlich deck, and we're gonna play a new engine in it. I've been having a lot of fun playing this deck. This deck is honestly very good. I don't know why it never saw play in the TCG, but this deck has been going around, and I just want to share it. So right off the bat, two Lord, you can. I've tried playing one, I've tried playing three, but I think two is just the perfect number because this card is honestly just a brick. And then the new cards, the Ancient Warriors. So this is Lufang, and what this is if you have Ancient Warrior, you can special it, and then it's just a Trident. It just pops a monster with the highest attack. Yeah, the highest attack. And then the starter of the deck, the card that really sold me on this whole entire engine. This card is crazy. Ancient Warrior Masterful Sun Mu. What it essentially does is you can send a card from your field or hand to the graveyard to search a card, and you're going to search the next card, which is the extender. When this card's added, Ancient Warrior Ignatius Kong, I'm just calling him Kong. Honestly, I don't know these names that well. But when it's added by Ancient Warrior effect, it just specials itself, and it leads to the double dragon. So yeah, that's all you're doing. But the thing that's really cool about Sunmu is it synergizes really well with Cursed and the Golden Lands. I've been talking nonstop that like the Golden Lands are actually just shit cards. People love playing three Conquistador, three Wakero. I don't know how you guys are doing it and actually winning games because the Golden Lands are just literally terrible. But it's always nice to see some kind of synergy, being able to discard it and actually hit your Scarlet, because Scarlet is the broken card. But yeah, so that's the engine I would honestly play. I maybe you could go one Lufang, but then the hand traps I've been playing, three Ash. Ash is just generic. If you're gonna play on Dueling Bug, you probably just play Ash. You don't need to play a ton of hand traps because a lot of people, specifically right now, as everybody's waiting for the ban list, you don't need to OD on hand traps because people aren't really playing Dragon Link. People are waiting and testing new decks. So three Ash, and then the other hand trap I've been trying to sell everybody on, Bell. I've been main decking it, and Bell's just crazy. Bell hits so many good cards, so try that. And then the spells. So I'm sure everybody that played Eldlich knows that like Zoo Eldlich was the popular, like probably the most popular version, and I loved Zoo Eldlich, but the thing with Zoo Eldlich is it wasn't that fair, like that unfair. Like I love playing decks that actually just have unfair cards in them, and Extravagance is definitely one of the unfair cards in this game. You're drawing two; it's definitely better than Prosperity, specifically in Eldlich, because I would much rather draw two than just add the missing piece to my hand. You could probably play both, but drawing two has always been better than Prosperity to me, unless you're going to play a combo deck where you need to get the certain piece to your hand, such as Drytron, things like that. And then Tanky even is way better in this deck because one Tanky, I had a combo video earlier, but one Tanky essentially just equals two interrupts in the Ancient Warrior. If you guys don't know how that happens, it's just very simple. You activate this effect, and then you're going to summon Double Dragon. Double Dragon is going to add the Trident, the Lufang, so you're going to have a bounce and a pop. So Tanky actually feels very strong in this, unlike the Zoo deck where you're just passing on a Dryden, and Dryden never felt that good to me, especially when you're going first. Dryden was this. The Zoo cards were the selling point because of Zeus, because Borbo could direct attack and you could drop a 6 material Zeus. But whenever you were going first, it never felt that good to summon a Dryden. So that's why honestly I lean towards this deck specifically recently. Now that Tri Brigade's slowly getting popular, a bounce and a pop is way more, just way better than a Dryden pop. Yeah, like you literally have the Dryden in this engine. I think the con of playing the Ancient Warriors over the Zoo cards is they're weaker to hand traps, and you have to play a few more bricks because this card and this card are essentially kind of bricky. But the trade-off, I think, is definitely worth it, and I definitely recommend you guys trying the Ancient Warriors. And then Call by the Grave, because, like I said, the deck is inherently a little weaker to hand traps because you're having a higher ceiling. Whenever a deck goes to a higher ceiling, you're going to be susceptible to hand traps. So Call by the Grave in there. Three curse plus the Ancient Warriors are crazy just because this one just sends to the graveyard. You get both engines going. It's always nice. And then Black Awakening. I've seen people ask me, why do I play Black Awakening? I just like playing more elixirs, specifically because playing more elixir is nice because of Golden Land Forever. Whenever you're playing not the pure Eldlich deck, whenever you're playing Zoo Eldlich, I have the same concept. Like play to set up Golden Land Forever, because I think Golden Land Forever actually just ends the game, especially when you have other trap cards. If you have an IDP or some kind of floodgate with Golden Land Forever and you set that up, and the game is usually just over. And then 3 Scarlet, 3 Conquistador, 1 Huaquero, 1 Golden Land Forever. I've talked about this nonstop, but Golden Land cards are not that good. But the thing that's interesting about this deck is you can, because of Tanky and Sun Mu, you can send the Golden Land Forevers to graveyard because of those cards, and you can hit the Scarlet, and Scarlet is the good card. So I don't mind playing 3 Conquistador, but this idea that you need to play multiple Huaqueros, especially in a format where Huaquero isn't even good, I don't understand it. But I recommend playing 1 to 2 Huaquero at max. I would rather play like hard trap cards or floodgates over multiple Huaqueros, because this idea that like you're gonna keep grinding with Eldlich is just not true. Like this deck is just too slow if you're going to approach it like that. So 1 forever, and then the traps of my choice that I've been playing around with. And this is, you guys could change it around. You guys could play like summon limit, things like that. But IDP, I think IDP is crazy. I don't know how crazy it's going to be against Tri Brigade. I don't think it's that good against Tri Brigade. But for the moment being, while we're just still playing, waiting for a ban list, waiting for a Lightning Overdrive to drop, I would play IDP. And then Judgment just covers everything. And I don't have the side deck here, but I couldn't fit Judgment into my side deck. So I just chose to main it, but Judgment can be Strike, whatever. And then Order is just, I think Order is always in every Eldlich deck. Like you're trying, like I said, play as many unfair cards as possible, because this deck is actually not a tier 1 deck. So I would recommend playing as many things that actually just give you like easy wins. So that's the main deck. Going to the extra deck real quick. It's simple extra deck. Link Spider, Phoenix. Link Spider, Golden Lands. You can make Link Spider with it and then send them to graveyard. And then the only thing that I think actually matters is the 3 Lord because of extravagance. Double Dragon Lord, Tri Brigade plays it. I'm sure everybody knows it just bounces a card. And then another selling point of this deck is you have access to these old rank 4s, and rank 4s aren't terrible. So I'm playing Exatonite, Dweller, and Baguska. And these cards also can lead to the Zeus. It's a little bit trickier to get to the Zeus in this deck, but you can still have access to it. And then 2 Pleiades, the Trains, Lieb, and Gustav Max. Double Zeus and Omega, because I always side Gamma. So that's the main deck. Let me know what you guys thought about this. I'm honestly shocked that no more people didn't catch on to the Ancient Warrior version of this deck, but I've been having a lot of fun with it. Hopefully we see more of it in the next format, because I think this is definitely a viable way to play it, this deck. I think the ceiling of this deck is much higher than the Zoo Eldlich deck. And leave a comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought.